Crikey! When Australia announced plans for its giant fences, the world laughed. A fence stretching thousands of kilometers. People thought we were mad. They pictured a flimsy garden fence holding back the wild outback. Pure comedy. But for Aussies, it was deadly serious. Our land, farms, and wildlife were under siege. The world saw a joke. We saw a lifeline. This was about survival, not spectacle. Newspapers mocked us with cartoons of kangaroos hopping fences and emus walking around them. But they didn't understand the Aussie spirit. When faced with a massive problem, we go big. The fence was more than wire. It was a symbol of our determination. Let them laugh. We knew what was at stake. If they'd seen the devastation, fields ruined by rabbits, silence where birds once sang, they'd get it. We were about to show the world what Aussies are made of. Why build such a massive fence? Because Australia was under attack, from rabbits, dingoes and more. Rabbits brought by settlers, multiplied into billions, devouring everything and turning green pastures to dust. Farmers lost crops, feed, and hope. It was a fluffy plague. Dingoes, native predators, threatened sheep stations, livelihoods were on the line. The fence was a desperate solution. Sheep safe on one side, dingoes free on the other. But it wasn't just rabbits and dingoes. Feral pigs, goats, and foxes wreaked havoc too. Foxes, brought for sport, devastated native marsupials like the bilby and numbat. The land was out of balance. Native wildlife was vanishing. The fences aimed to create sanctuaries, giving native animals a fighting chance. Australia's unique environment, evolved in isolation, was fragile. The rabbit-proof and dingo fences were our last-ditch effort to restore balance. It was a war, and our battle lines were drawn in wire. Building these fences was brutal work, thousands of kilometers across harsh, unforgiving land. Crews faced scorching deserts, mountains, and endless scrub, digging post holes by hand. No fancy machines, just sweat, grit, and determination. Materials had to be hauled by truck, horse, even camel. Fence builders lived in rough camps, battling heat, dust, and isolation. The fence cut across ancient animal pathways, blocking kangaroos and emus, changing the land forever. Sometimes, animals piled up against the barrier, confused and distressed. Despite hardship, the crews pressed on, connecting remote communities with a single line of wire. The rabbit-proof and dingo fences became legendary feats of endurance. They stand as monuments to Aussie resolve. We literally drew a line in the sand. Once the fences went up, life changed fast. For farmers, it was a miracle. Sheep were safe, industries thrived, and the fence became a shield. But for wildlife, it split the land in two. On the protected side, kangaroo numbers exploded without dingoes, creating new problems for farmers. On the dingo side, predators roamed, but their world shrank, changing their behavior and genetics. The ecosystem shifted. Removing top predators led to more pests and pressure on native species. The land with dingoes was tougher for sheep, but healthier overall. The fence taught us about cause and effect in nature. Fence maintenance became a lonely, vital job, patrolling, repairing, and guarding the line. Boundary riders were the unsung heroes, keeping the barrier strong. Their work ensured the fence did its job, for better or worse. The fence was more than a barrier. It shaped lives and landscapes. It was a lesson in unintended consequences. Decades later, the results were startling, a mix of triumph and trouble. The fence protected sheep and boosted the economy, but the environmental cost was steep. Without dingoes, kangaroo and emu populations soared, leading to overgrazing and dust bowls. We'd solved one problem, but created others. Classic unintended consequences. Scientists found that land with dingoes was healthier, with more vegetation and thriving small animals. Dingoes kept pests in check and protected biodiversity. The fence became the world's largest ecological experiment. We learned there are no simple solutions in nature. Trying to control one part of an ecosystem affects everything else. Today we talk about rewilding and coexisting with predators. Australia's giant fences taught the world a tough, valuable lesson. Sometimes nature knows best.